Ladies and gentlemen, the public hearing of the Committee on Urban Planning, Housing, and Resettlement is hereby called to order. And without any senators, let's just proceed, assuming that we have a quorum sooner rather than later. And let us now call on Ms. Clea Nava, the Legislative Committee Secretary, to acknowledge the presence of our resource persons.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We would like to acknowledge the presence of our resource persons from the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development, Undersecretary Avelino Tolentino, Director Mark Aaron Sambar. From the National Housing Authority, we have General Manager Joe Bentay, and Mr. Cromwell Teves, OIC NCR South Sector Office and Concurrent Department Manager of Corporate Planning Department. From the Department of Finance, we have Undersecretary Maria Edita Z. Tan, Special Concerns and Oversight. From the Department of Budget and Management, we have Attorney Tricia Baraan, Director Budget Information Legislative Service. From the Governance Commission for GOCCs, we have Attorney Michael Pabalinas, and we have Attorney Lovely Joy Avisado. From the National Economic Development Authority, we have Director Francis Brian Coballes, Assistant Director, Infrastructure Staff Investment Programming Group. From the Commission on Audit, we have Mr. Erwin Liave, State Auditor 4, Audit Team Leader, Performance Audit Office. That's all, ma'am.
Yes, thank you very much. And as you're well aware, the agenda for this morning's hearing are as follows. Senate Bill 653 by Senator Tolentino, Senate Bill 2059 by Senator Ejercito, Senate Bill 1713 of the chairman, and as well as House Bill 10172 of Romualdez, Marcos, Dalipe, etc. They all have to do with the extension of the life of the NHA, I do believe. Okay, so the committee will tackle all three Senate bills as well as the House bill, which aims to strengthen the National Housing Authority as well as extend its corporate life. In 1975, it was created under PD 757 to develop and implement a comprehensive and integrated housing program for the underprivileged homeless Filipinos. With 11 months left in the NHA charter and the tight legislative calendar, we consider this therefore an urgent measure. It is hoped that in order to push it along, because you know that strictly speaking, we merely have the SONA, we are in recess today, the period of the SONA, which is July 22 up to early October to actually work on this. And through that, we will be debating regarding GAA 2025. So the budget taking priority over all other bills. I am concerned that this may not push through. There are some very serious objections, as you are well aware. As we discuss the strengths and weaknesses of the present charter of the NHA, it should be an opportunity to learn from the lessons and experiences gained from the past 49 years now to transform this agency to be more responsive and more aggressive. With a growing housing backlog, which apparently has reached 6 million units, according to the early announcement of the DSUD secretary, and the inadequate budget for the housing sector, the new NHA should be innovative and vibrant and proactive. In the previous hearings, there were some questions and issues raised in relation to NHA's operational efficiency, utilization of funds, and overall performance in achieving its mandate. We're here today to find more solutions rather than dwell on existing problems of which we are all too aware. As the new chairman, I will listen to you, but I am also fully cognizant of the miserable record this agency has had over the past decades. How can the new charter be instrumental in enabling NHA to be more effective in performing its crucial role? in providing affordable and decent housing to poor Filipinos. As the primary government agency engaged in direct shelter production, NHA is expected to create a major impact in the lives of homeless Filipinos, particularly in the 3.7 million informal settlers. Thus, we enjoin the officials and representatives from different government agencies to collaborate actively and seriously in crafting new policy mechanisms to address the agency's problem areas in production, collection efficiency, land management, and disposition. And with that, we would like to open the discussion by inviting the NHA to present perhaps their position, and thereafter we carry on with the other agencies who have quite extensive comments as well. So, anyone from the NHA would like to present the position of NHA and explain the justification for extending your life and the recommended improvements given the many problems cited not only by COA but by beneficiaries themselves. The NHA, please.
Madam Chair, if you may allow our CPD manager to present our position on this matter.
Your manager. Anong pangalan ba?
Mr. Romualdez po, our CPD manager.
Your position, please.
Good morning, Madam Chair. I am Cromwell Teves,
Yes, I can read that, but I can't see the title underneath.
Department Manager po of Corporate Planning Department.
Okay, can you very, very briefly tell us why we need to extend
Good morning, Madam Chair.
and what
good
mechanisms you have in place or in mind to improve the service that has so far been entirely lackluster?
Good morning, Madam Chair, and good morning to everyone. Let me read the position paper of NHA.
We have it.
All right.
We're in receipt. Can you just highlight the salient points, please?
To highlight the salient points on Section 4, extension of corporate term, we recommend granting perpetual existence to NHA. This is in alignment with Senate Bill 1258, sponsored by Senator Ejercito. Wala na to.
Okay, the perpetual existence and your request that you be placed under the office of the president attached to the DSUD, to which my previous chairman had violent objections.
Madam Chair, we are deleting our position on number 3 and number 6.
Alin yung number 6, yung uniformed personnel and government employees? What do you mean by deleting? If you're what are you deleting exactly? The perpetual existence, or that's still your position in Section 4?
Madam Chair, the number 3 under the office of the president, and also number
Also out na yung office of the president, as
Yes.
is na lang DSUD, okay?
Yes.
And then
And
that's less
number-
controversial, fine.
and numbers.
Pero, Manager Teves, sinabi mo yung perpetual existence, that's still, okay, fine. Okay, at least I know. Although, of course, this has been objected to by the House and other offices. Section 6, ganun pa rin? Yung Section 6, akala ko you're deleting that.
Yeah.
That's to do with government and uniformed personnel. Tama ba? Are you deleting that? I'm lost.
No, not Section 6, Madam Chair, number 6.
Alin yun?
Section 9.
Asan na yung
Section
kopya?
9.
Teka, papalit-palit kasi yung position ninyo eh. May bago na naman this morning eh. May I see the latest? Ano yung number 6 po? Can you just identify the section? Kasi yun ang hawak ko eh.
Ito po yung recent we're referring to.
Section 9 on the appeal of the elevated before the office of the president.
Okay, so out na yan. Okay, and then number, ano ba? Number 4 is section 6. I think we're referring to the same thing. yung housing program ng government employees and uniformed personnel?
That's still with our position, Madam Chair.
Okay, sige. All right, I just need to know. Sige. Okay. Asset management?
All others, Madam Chair, are within our position.
Sorry.
All the others are within our current position, Madam Chair.
I'm a little bit confused. There's a controversial section, Section 13 of my bill. This has to do with tax exemptions. What's your position on that? It occurs in my bill. It was suggested by NHA, but of course the DOF will be expected to object. What's your position at the present time? Yung sinasabi na to promote housing affordability, projects of the NHA in cooperation with LGUs will be provided with tax exemptions, also to be enjoyed by their private sector partners and other entities. Is that the position of NHA or not?
Yes, Madam Chair.
It
We
is.
strongly agree to this and support the Section 13.
Yeah, Section 13. Maybe we can get a quick comment from DOF. Tax exemption yan. Siyempre, automatic na yan na may objection.
No, actually, it's quite consistent. The proposed tax exemptions are consistent with the existing provisions of the National Internal Revenue Code of 1997 as amended, so otherwise known as the Urban Development and Housing. So on income tax, real estate.
Yes, Yusek, that's consistent, but this now extends it to their private partners.
Ah.
Yung mga kontratista nila, supplier.
Oh, no. That's a different story. We will have to.
Kaya nga eh,
Yeah.
that's the part that even I'm not certain about. But they recommended it, so I just stuck it into my bill so that
yes.
it would be a
We would-
topic of discussion.
Yes, at this point.
Nag-iba eh, kasi yung sa
Oo.
batas, yung alam natin, mga LGU, national
hanggang ano lang,
government,
NG, within NG, there's
within
no
NG
problem.
and LGU pati.
Yes, yeah.
Pero ito kasi, pati,
Going
ang
beyond.
sabi kasi, pati private sector, yung mga contractor, developer, mga
Yeah.
supplier.
Could just imagine there could be a loopholes there.
Karambola yan.
Oo. Right. Agree with you. Madam
Okay.
Chair.
Anyway, I just stuck it in there to make certain. I have another question, and that has to do, yung number 5 ng latest letter ninyo, Asset Management and Business Development Item C. Medyo nalilito ako dito. Paano nga ba to? What's our latest position? Paano nga ba yan? NHA is proposing to insert a provision sa dulo, di ba? To give the power and authority similar to that of Pag-ibig. Will this apply to individual awardees who belong to the poor sector? What happens if they fail to pay? How many housing awards have actually been canceled for failure to pay in the past? After they get evicted, do they get a second chance? And paiba-iba rin yung amendment ninyo. Yung unang binigay, may mga nakasingit sa line 4, 5. Tapos itong latest, parang sa dulo na lang. Alin ba talaga? Pero nalilito ako dito kasi it's very similar to the one endowed with the HMDC or Pag-ibig, di ba? Is that what you're requesting?
Yes, Madam Chair. Just to give a data, Madam Chair, as of March 2024, there are a total of 5,733 cancelled awards.
5,700.
733 cancelled awards. Cancelled awards po.
Cancelled. Okay, cancelled. Sorry, I can't hear. Okay. So these have been cancelled. Ano nangyari? So what happens? They failed to pay. Ilang buwan sila hindi nakakapagbayad?
Either they fail to pay or there's a violation kung saan pinaparentahan or binibenta po ang ating mga bahay.
Okay. So they rent or otherwise transfer?
Yes, or pasalo or binibenta po.
I see. So, what you're saying is that you should be given the authority to deputize, and then there will be a special sheriff for NHA to report to the proper court, parang ganon.
Yes, Madam Chair.
This is almost exactly the same as what HNDC has now. Is there someone from Pag-ibig who can help us? May taga-Pag-ibig ba dito? Walang HNDC. Can someone check? Ang pagkaalam ko, ganito rin ang ginagawa nila, pero kung maaari niyong liwanagan. Is this different in any way? I'm also a little confused by the line 4 and 5 to bring proper action or suit in the courts, tribunals, commissions. Your amendments are not the same. The earlier amendment was had an inclusion to bring actions in court, whereas in the second, parang wala na. Kasi nabasa ko lang ngayon eh. But it does say to initiate also and institute the proper action. Okay. So pareho rin yan. Yung last paragraph, humaba ng bongga. Ano na to? Upon recommendation of the general manager, deputize any legal staff to act as eviction enforcement officer without the need of a court order. Naku po, anong due process natin dyan?
Madam Chair, if you may allow our legal department to further clarify this.
In accordance with NHA procedure, that's entirely self-serving. Baka in violation na tayo. Would somebody like to explain this, please? How is this gonna work?
Good morning, Madam Chair. I'm Attorney Beltran. I'm the OIC of the Legal Department. Madam Chair, with regard to the eviction,
Yes, unang-una, this is already a power that's being given to HMDC. Bakit hindi na lang sila? Ba't kailangan pa yung NHA?
Madam Chair, under Presidential Decree number 1472, the NHA has the power to summarily evict informal settlers which are living on NHA-owned and administered properties.
No, you're saying that NHA has this power already.
Yes,
Ba't
yes.
uulitin pa?
Madam Chair, just to update it, incorporate it in the charter. While the presidential decree has not been, there is no express repeal of the presidential decree. We deem it necessary to
While there is no express...
repeal. The presidential decree has not been repealed yet, rather.
Okay.
We deem it necessary to incorporate it in the new charter.
Oh, I see, I see. This is verbatim. Are you saying that you're just cut and pasting 1472?
With regard,
So that this new charter will be aligned with the PD, is that correct?
yes, Madam Chair.
In accordance with NHA procedures and policies?
Yes.
What are the procedures? No, because I hesitate because there doesn't seem to be any due process. I mean, of course, we know it's a summary eviction. Eh, ganun talaga. Pero, ano ang second chance? Ano yung relief? What are the remedies?
Madam Chair, prior to the eviction, we do not immediately evict, Madam Chair.
Secretary? Yes, we recognize the arrival of the Secretary. Thank you po. Yes, you were saying, Attorney Pabalinas.
I'm sorry, I'm Attorney Beltran, Madam
Ay,
Chair.
sorry, Attorney Beltran.
Yes. Madam Chair, we do not usually evict right away. We have policies in policies in the authority.
Yeah,
where
but that's very vague. I need to be assured that the rights of the individual are also recognized. You said we do not usually evict right away. Para napakalabo naman nun, nakaka-nervyos.
We have policies in place, Madam Chair. For example, our policy regarding the cancellation. Usually, we give 3 notices for the awardees to...
Okay, magkapareho ba kayo ng HMDC?
I think they are much stricter. Madam Chair.
Hindi, because this is very similar, di ba? It's similar to the power given to HMDC under RA 9679, which was not given to you. Kaya nga, nagtataka ako, bakit may duplication? Ba't uulitin pa kung kaya namang gawin ng pag-ibig?
I think the proper we have different properties, property ownerships, Madam Chair, and as basis
Okay, they have different properties. So you need it also kasi such power will not apply to NHA properties.
yes.
Okay, so you need it as well. And as you said earlier, nasa ibang batas na. It's already in PD 1472.
It was enacted 1978, and alongside with the
PD 1472
yes, Madam Chair,
was enacted in,
1978.
okay,
And alongside with the enactment of the said presidential decree, there was an IRR which was designated as Memorandum Circular Number 60 of the NHA.
okay.
Is
If you would provide me a copy of the IRR, they're usually not online. The RAs, obviously, I can get, but I cannot derive this IRR MO60. Will you provide this, please, to the committee at the earliest
yes,
possible?
Madam Chair, but
The other issue is, could you also provide the existing procedures that you mentioned earlier of NHA, just to be assured that the due process is actually upheld?
yes, Madam Chair, we will do.
Yes,
We will
okay. All right. Yeah. Yes. Be mindful, Attorney Beltran. PD 1472 is very, very careful. Proper notice has to be given by personal service or pasting the same in the lot or the door. No awardee will be ejected unless transferred to another housing project. You have to uphold both.
Yes.
Yes, you're fully aware that there are limitations of 1472.
Yes.
Parang hindi mo nabanggit eh. Sabi mo, you have procedures.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, ma'am, after the
Kasi kung gagayahin na to, mabigat-bigat to. Hindi ka makakapag-eject sa violator kapag walang paglilipatan.
we do understand that, ma'am. We have already updated the implementing rules regarding PD 1472, ma'am. That is, we have already issued MC 2506, which updated MC number 60, which
Yes, can you provide me with all these documents? Nalilito ako because you said usually we do not eject right away. Pero ang liwanag sa 1472, maliwanag siya. Pati
Yes.
yung MO60, I am told by staff who have looked it up, that in fact it's very clear-cut. Can we derive some clarity from your office, please?
we will provide the necessary.
Sige, yung
materials.
yung update, sabi mo may update, yung
Yes.
memo circular
2506.
MO60, which is MO 2506.
Originally it was MC number 60,
Yes, I understand.
and it was updated by MC 2506.
Okay, fine. All right, can you provide the committee with these? Do we already have them from the previous chairman? Yes, in any case, if you would be so kind to give us copies as well. Yes. The secretary is now here, and you have withdrawn your request that you should be placed under the office of the president. However, in section 9, under the duties of general manager, item F, you continue to recommend that any appeals before the NHA should be elevated to the office of the president and not to the secretary of housing.
Madam Chair, we are also withdrawing
So-
this.
But it's here. You just gave it to me this morning. So can I get the position? Because it's still here in writing. Kasi Secretary, ang sabi kanina, hindi na nila pinagpipilitan na yung NHA magiging under Office of the President. Pero nananatili pa rin dito sa Section 9 dun sa duties of the manager na ang appeal ay diretso sa Office of the President, hindi Secretary ng Housing. Can we be clarified? Kasi this seems to be inconsistent with the earlier position you manifested.
Yes. With regard to...
Item F, Section 9.
Yes, ma'am. Item
As a
F.
letter ninyo, number 6.
We just followed, ma'am, the letters, the provisions of Executive Order number 22. Series
Hindi,
of...
teka. Ano, inaatras na ba ninyo to o tuloy-tuloy? Kasi this is not consistent with what you said kanina eh. Let's please be clear. Kasi kung Office of the President, yung dati ninyong paninindigan, edi pangatawanan natin. Edi Office of the President. Pero sabi nyo, inaatras na ninyo yung Office of the President na gusto ninyo diretso doon. Eh bakit narito pa rin yung General Manager magre-report lang sa Office of the President na naman? Alin ba talaga?
Madam Chair, we are withdrawing this.
Okay, fine. All right. So I pay no attention to this, ha. Sige. Okay, eto rin sa item I, same section 9, yung budget proposals shall be prepared by the DBM instead of the Secretary of Housing, since the latter is only for policy. I'm again very perplexed why you suddenly are no longer under Office of the President, apparently, but now your budget will be formulated by DBM and not DSUD. I'm lost.
Madam Chair, on
You're a government corporation, correct?
That
So
is
you have a
correct.
level of autonomy. The administrative supervision at present lies with the Secretary who's here with us. Tama ba yun?
that's
Okay.
correct, Madam Chair.
Okay, kung ganon, bakit yung budget to be prepared before the DBM and not the Department of Housing?
Our recommendation, Madam Chair, is to prepare and submit to the DBM, which is the current practice right now.
That's the current practice.
Yes.
Ano
As
bang practice
approved-
ng GOCC? Patulong tayo sa ordinaryong GOCC. That's your current practice?
Yes po, Madam Chair, but this is approved by the Board of Directors, which the DSUD Secretary stands as our
As
chairman.
the chairman?
Yes po.
Right. The chair is the DSUD.
Yes po.
Tama ba to? Maybe Attorney Tricia can you verify that this is
Yes,
in
ma'am.
fact the current practice as stated?
Apo. Good morning, Madam Chair and everyone. Yes po, we do have a budget timeline din po for GOCCs and they submit po na we have budget proposal forms din po for GOCCs and they submit to us po annually. Diba?
Right. It says prepared and submitted. DBM participates in the preparation of the NHA budget.
No ma'am, they
No,
prepare
it says
po and we,
prepared and
no.
submitted. I think that's what's throwing me off. Kayo ang gagawa ng budget nila.
No ma'am, they should be the GOCCs.
Kung ako sa kanila, ayoko nun.
Yes, sir.
Ang kuri-kuripot ninyo.
They should be the ones who prepare for their own
Yeah,
budget.
so perhaps
We
you
only
delete
review po.
prepare. They don't prepare any budgets. And you're a GOCC. You're big boys and girls. You can do it well. May I know if this is standard practice in the other GOCCs? Pwede magtanong sa GOCC. Di ba nandito kayo? Po.
Good morning, Madam
GCG?
Chair.
Yeah.
Attorney Avisado po from GCG. For GOCCs po, Madam Chair, the GOCCs are the one preparing for their corporate operating budget. For GOCCs who needs subsidy from the national government, it will be approved by the DBM. However, for GOCC who does not ask for subsidies, such as those GOCCs that are such as, for example, Land Bank or GFIs who does not need financial subsidy, it will just be submitted to DBM. So it is
Okay.
perhaps it is really the GOCC who prepares for it with the directive of their supervising agencies if necessary.
Yes, so Attorney Beltran, I think it's important that we edit this. It should not be prepared clearly by the DBM. It's merely submitted and approved by them. Is that correct?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Manager Teves, please.
yes, Madam Chair, because we're talking of Section 9 duties of the General Manager, so the General Manager will prepare and submit to the DBM the board-approved budget po.
No, it doesn't say that in your letter. In your letter, budget proposals of all kinds shall be prepared and submitted.
Yes po.
Perhaps it's just sloppy drafting.
Yes po. It's related to item number 6 po.
Item number 6, section 9, I
Nine,
understand
yes,
that it
oo.
refers to the duties of the general manager, but the way this sentence is written, it appears to be the NHA. Paltan na lang ninyo kasi
Noted, Madam
medyo
Chair.
hindi siya masyadong maliwanag.
Yes po, Madam Chair.
Kasi hindi to tama. Pag GOCC kayo, kasi may subsidy o wala, kayo talagang gagawa ng budget ninyo.
Yes po.
Diba?
Yes po.
Okay, so let's just sort this out, please. Yeah. Okay. Yes, perhaps we can hear from the secretary now that he's here. What's your position on the extension of the NHA po? And what changes do you feel we can incorporate in the extension of the life of NHA po?
Madam Chair, importante po yung buhay ng NHA sa DSUD, ano, as a housing agency. At napatunayan naman po yung NHA ay talagang nag-implement naman talaga for housing. Yung extension po ng NHA ay yan po ang gagamitin namin na implementing arms ng aming department. NHA and DSUD, NHA and SAPSI. We have
Alin yun?
SAPSI, Social Housing Corporation. Dalawa po yung ginagawa naming implementing arms.
Alin yung Social Housing Corporation dati?
Social
Dati?
Housing Finance. Siya po yung dating, yung home mortgage finance.
Di
Yung
ba
pang
HMDC yan?
NHMC.
NHMC.
Subsidiary of NHMC,
Yeah.
National Home Mortgage Finance Corporation.
National Home Mortgage
Finance Corporation. Ginawa ng, ginawang agency.
Naging?
Naging agency na siya.
Ah,
Corporation.
okay.
Kasi
The-
ma'am,
It used to be a corporation? Is that correct?
no,
Madam
Arms, okay.
Madam Chair, the SHFC is
I'm a new chairman, so you have to update me.
Yes,
Sa
ma'am.
ignorance. Sorry.
Yes.
So naaalala ko lang yung panahon ng tatay ko.
Opo, opo.
Iba kasi itsura nito. NHMFC.
Opo.
exists.
Oo. Ito ang naging Social Housing Corp.
Opo.
Anong
It's a
pinagkaiba?
subsidiary, Madam
Subsidiary.
Chair.
Ganito po yan, ma'am. Nung panahon po ni Presidente Marcos Sr., yung National Housing Authority, yung SLURB, under National Housing Authority, ginawa po ng Presidente Marcos po ng araw.
Oo.
Isang housing lang yan eh. Pati
Correct.
regulation.
Right.
Under NHA lahat yan. Ngayon, nag-evolve yan.
Okay.
Hindi
Tama,
wala,
kaya nga eh.
hiniwala ng SLURB.
Okay, bigyan mo na ako ng chart. Kasi
Opo.
bago pa ako dito eh.
Opo.
Nagbago na kasi. So you have two implementing arms. Kakailanganin talaga ninyo yung
Kailangan,
NHA.
ah.
Ngayon, yung 25 years ang sinasabing compromise with a mandatory review ng COA. Pero yung position ng previous chairman, permanent. Yun din ang position ng NHA.
Opo.
Sa inyo, 25 years ba ay sapat or another 50 years or permanent? Ano ang position ng
Tingin
DSUD?
namin maganda rin 25 years.
Ha?
25 years maganda rin.
Bakit po 25?
Eh,
Mas
para,
maikli pa yan kesa dati.
para ma-review.
Pwede naman mag-review ng every
50
5 years. Yung mga GOCC, permanent existence, pero rini-review pa rin kada taon. Sa totoo lang, ang COA, nagre-review kada taon, hindi lang every 5 years, di ba po? Bakit 25? Samantalang, kung yung review, ang problema po natin, nagre-review naman yan taon-taon, tapos pwedeng pangkalahatang review ng 5 years, katulad ng GOCC.
Ma'am, yun po ang gusto ng yun po yung napag-usapan doon sa Congress. Ayaw na namin,
Yeah, sa Congress.
ayaw na namin na,
Alam ko na nasa Congress yan.
Opo.
Pero yung position ng department, kung sa inyo lang,
babalik ulit kami sa Congress for another,
ay hindi, magbabaykan po kami.
sige po.
Magsasalubong kami. Pero yung sa inyo, yung personal,
Maganda yung 50 years.
50 years, hindi rin permanent.
Hindi rin permanent.
50 years. preferred. Okay. Sige. Kasi magbabuy cam kami, magtitipon rin naman kami. Ayun. May problema ako dun sa rine-recommend na Section 6 IIB. Tama ba to? Anyway, hindi ko maintindihan yung yung numbering. Basically, it gives NHA the power to ensure collection and recovery. Ito yun. Ito yung kanina, no? Pero okay to sa doon sa position paper ninyo, okay to sa inyo, di ba?
Opo.
Sabi ninyo. Ha?
Opo.
Oo,
Yung
okay
support.
to. Tapos yung section 13, yung NHA to have the power to revoke the award of beneficiaries. Okay din sa inyo
Kasi
yan.
ma'am, itong bagong program namin, we're using now private funds. Siyempre, pag private funds ang ginagamit mo, kailan bayaran? So, kailan mag-eject kami nung hindi nakakabayad?
Okay, so yun din ang sinabi nila kanina. So, sang-ayon tayong lahat dyan. Okay. Ang COA naman, thank you very much, Secretary. So, that clarifies the positions of everyone. At least, kahit 25 years ang sinabi ng Congress, alam ko na sa inyo, 5 ang ideal. Sige po, tignan natin. Yung Commission on Audit proposes perpetual of this existence of NHA, di ba, sa COA. In the position paper you submitted, sinabi nyo perpetual existence. Total, nag-annual audit naman kayo at saka 5-year review yung GOCC. Tama po ba?
Yes po, Madam Chair. By the way, I'm Erwin Liabe, the audit team leader for the performance audit team that conducted the performance audit of the National Housing Program of the NHA. So in our position paper, we manifested here that we suggested that the corporate term of the NHA shall be extended and shall have perpetual existence. But we also have a limiting provision here that unless otherwise merged, dissolved, or abolished by a subsequent legislative act, and also upon the achievement of their ultimate goal, which is the provision of the housing units to
Ang layo-layo pa
low
niyan.
income classes. So
Pero otherwise, merged,
Yes.
dissolved, or by a subsequent legislative act. That's surplusage. Given naman yan, di ba? Even if you don't write that, talagang ganyan. May tanong lang ako. You have reservations regarding the involvement of GFIs and private financial institutions.
yes po, Madam Chair.
I
but-
think you're similar with the DOF. Because of the number of failed, delayed, and otherwise changed contracts in the NHA long history, you're hesitant about their involvement with GFIs and private financial institutions. What do you mean by that exactly?
Yes, Madam Chair. I'm sorry, but I cannot fully explain this because supposedly our resident auditor from the NHA is indicated this.
Magti-TWG tayo, no? Pero,
Yes po.
kailangan ko ng paliwanag.
Yes po.
Exactly what do you mean by non-involvement?
We'll get
Di
back to
sila
you na lang po,
magpapautang
Madam
kailanman.
Chair.
Parang ganun.
Ano na lang, Madam
Dahil
Chair.
may bad track record.
We'll get back to you na lang po once our resident
sige.
auditor
Okay.
arrive.
Basta,
Today.
ako question mark dyan,
Yes po.
Paliwanag mo na lang sa akin, di ko gets.
Thank you po.
Okay, meron rin kayong suggestion dito sa performance audit that NHA should supervise from the very beginning, from bidding to construction, to have full control and ensure quality. Tama ba yun? May finding
Is
yata
this the section
kayo dyan,
6 you're
Oo.
referring to, Madam Chair? Yes po, because
I want to know, bakit sa ngayon ba, hindi ba from bidding to construction?
because there were some housing programs under NHA that they has no full control of the housing production because they are just merely financing the housing program like the housing assistance or the RAP LGU, the
Sorry,
housing
come
assistance.
again?
the-
They're just financing?
Yes.
When are they only financing?
They are-
Pag disaster, ganon?
There are certain housing programs of NHA that they are just giving funding to the LGUs like the Resettlement Assistance Program. So there will be a 25 million or sometimes 50 million funding given to the LGUs, and the LGUs will be the one doing the production. But
But isn't the LGU somehow answerable to NHA in that case? Wala bang standards, wala bang inspection bago mag-turnover?
The liquidation report po, Madam Chair. And also the inspection
Liquidation lang, that doesn't refer to quality, just means that
and
you've
also
actually
the
dispersed
turnover
the
of
funds.
housing units once they close, but not totally from start to finish.
Is that workable?
This is part of our program wherein we support
No,
the
but is it workable that from bidding to turnkey, NHA is on top of the
because
whole?
these funds, Madam Chair, is downloaded na po to the LGU. So
Kaya nga, pero paano? Kung swertehin ka, maganda. Kung i-shortcut ng LGU, anong recourse mo?
it's the responsibility po of the LGU to
No, but it's your money.
we also monitor this, Madam Chair, but
Kasi
not
hindi po
100%
pwede yan eh.
po.
Matagal na ako sa gobyerno, pareho siguro ng COA. Matagal na kami nagtatrabaho sa COA. Pag binigyan ka ng pera ng gobyerno, pananagutan mo hanggang ending, di ba?
Yes, Madam Chair. It's just not supervised throughout the project, Madam Chair.
Although I understand that it becomes very tricky because meron kayong disaster assistance, cash lang yun, di ba?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Tapos meron rin, alam ko, sa ibang sulok ng mundo, ewan ko kung nauso na ulit dito, yung tinatawag na self-housing. Bibigay mo na lang doon sa mga informal settlers once you legalize title and sort out the other documents. And then they're provided either in cash or in kind with construction materials, and they will simply improve their situation. Yung self-housing na tinatawag, I don't know, is that workable?
We don't have any program of that, Madam Chair.
Marami yan sa LGU. We do that a lot, particularly after bagyo, disaster. Madalas yan eh. Pero yung question ng COA na from end to end, kasi parang naghugas kamay yung NHA sa LGU, hindi naman pwede yun. Yes, Secretary.
Ma'am, ganito yung practice dyan eh, lalo doon sa yung squatter relocation site. Yung receiving LGUs, maraming hinihingi bago na i-receive yung mga resettlement. Kaya kung minsan, nagbibigay kami ng some sort of part of the funding will give into the LGU, receiving LGU. Like for example, in other, like yung Rizal, nanghihingi sila ng 25,000 every families na tatanggapin nila. So yung budget namin, ina-allocate lang namin dyan.
Hindi, pero naintindihan ko kasi yung sa COA, pag pera mo, sasagutin mo. Pag binigay mo, sinurrender mo sa LGU, di naman nila pwedeng habulin yung LGU kasi yung pera sa inyo eh. So, paano kaya yan? I hope we're able to resolve that. Marami ring LGU nagre-reklamo sa NHA na nakabili na sila ng lupa pero wala namang perang NHA para ipagpatuloy yung housing project. So may kabaliktaran rin po niyan dahil nakinig ang ibang LGU. Maraming kaibigan natin bumili na ng lupa, mga mayor, mga gobernador. Pagkatapos walang pera ang DSUD, walang pera ang NHA, nakataya na sila doon sa lupang binili nila. Meron rin ganon, di ba? Paano ba yan? Paano maiwasan yung turuan na walang katapusan?
Budget lang naman yan, ma'am. Pero dito sa 4PS program po namin.
Pero ang interest ng COA kasi, yung budget, kanino? Sinong mananagot? That's always the key. The accountability and responsibility for settling public funds. That's always the issue. And we really are not allowed to pass it
NHA.
on to the LGU.
NHA. NHA kasi, ma'am, siya yung may technical expertise ng NHA. Ang experience niya for 40 years, nandiyan na sila lahat, pati engineering nila.
Hindi, kasi kahit magjo-joint project kayo ng LGU, pera pa rin ng NHA yan eh. So, kinakailangan talaga
NHA.
bantayan ng NHA. Hindi pwedeng sabihin, bahala na yung LGU. Walang ganun eh. Anyway, I think kailangan higpitan yan. Ako, sang-ayon ako dun sa COA kasi nakaka-nervous po yung ganon. At yung kabaliktaran kasi, nangyayari rin. Sasabihin ng LGU, napilitan kami gumastos at bumili ng lupa, wala namang karampatang budget yung NHA para sa pabahay. Anyway, may Section 7 ng COA tungkol sa Board of Directors, representative from DSWD, saka financial experts. Ano? I'm with you there. Ako, however, ang akin, considering yung kapalpakan ng ilang dekada ng NHA, sasabihin ko na lang, hindi ba pwedeng may engineering and construction na may nakakaintindi naman ng bagong teknolohiya sa mass housing sector. There are so many new technologies in the mass housing sector, from modular construction, computer design, building information modeling, 3D printing. We've seen so many models all over the world, and the issues of sustainability and energy and efficient technology, the problems of green building, space optimization, prefabrication of other materials, and the precasting of lightweight and other foam concrete. Ang dami-dami ng housing technologies, at nakikita natin yan sa buong mundo. Hindi ba dapat sa Board of Directors ng NHA, may mga construction people din? I mean, I understand the secretary is an expert, pero dun sa NHA mismo, yung sa nitty-gritty, hindi ba tayo pwede mag-level up? Sa NHA, kasi sa board ninyo, yung 7 board, may board ba tayo na nasa engineering technology para moderno naman ng konti? May modular housing and 3D printing na pati sa India. Pero tayo, nangungulelat pa rin. Is there someone in your board of directors that we can turn to at present who is an actual expert in modern mass housing technologies, of which there are so many?
Madam Chair, DPWH is included in our board, and also we have included
They're not renowned for modern building technology.
also we have included
Medyo antiquated din sila.
we have included 2
Pero
expert
mass housing technology is a very specialized part of the building industry. Hindi yan pareho ng roads and bridges. Iba pa yan. At alam natin na may specialty dyan, from India to Hong Kong to Singapore. Iba itsura niyan. Iba talagang materialis, iba lahat. Tulad ng 3D printing, kalat na kalat yan sa housing. Samantalang sa roads and bridges, hindi talaga pwede masyado. Yes, please.
we have included 2 expert panels.
Public Works is there.
And 2 expert panels to be part of the board from the private sector.
So you have 2 from the private sector.
Yes, Madam Chair. This is the latest inclusion in our
Sana may
meeting.
academic na rin kasi parang hindi tayo na-update. Anyway, I think it's so important that we look into this. We're so far behind given the great gaping housing gap. We really have to do more innovation and more creativity. Otherwise, nothing will ever happen, di ba? So, ang dami-dami ng prefab, ang dami ng precast, ang dami ng modular, ang daming computer-assisted, sustainable design. Wala pa akong nakikita kahit isa. Nakakalungkot eh. So, ganon. Okay, I think you wanted to add something, Yusek Tolentino,
Yes,
please.
Madam Chair. We support the proposal to include on top of the ex officio members for the board to have 2 panel members with expertise in housing, urban planning and development, and community mobilization, who are Filipino citizens of good moral character.
Teka, baka sobrang dami na ng board ninyo. Ilan ba board ninyo ngayon? Mahirap rin yung masyadong malaki yung board, hindi
Yes,
nakakapag-meeting.
Yes, ma'am. Yun,
Walang quorum, forever ex officio, walang botohan.
ang dinagdag lang talaga na we were really pushing
Hindi,
for the
bale ilan ng
7.
bale ilan na ba yung board ninyo sa kasalukuyan? Dagdag tayo ng dagdag dito. Ilan?
Currently, Madam Chair, we have 9.
9.
9.
9.
And the updated one will be
9 din.
9 plus 2. 7 plus 2. So 9 also, Madam
9
Chair.
ulit.
Yes.
Di okay lang yun. That's manageable. Pag lumaki na lumaki, magiging magulo na yan. Sige. Alright. At this juncture, I think I have to invite the NEDA. I think you also submitted a position paper. May NEDA bang rep? Ay, here
Yes,
we go.
Madam Chair. We've submitted previously to the ex-chairperson, Senator Ejercito.
Yes, I'm in receipt of your support for the NHA extension. Pero walang nakasabi dito kung gaano katagal.
Actually, regarding that, ma'am, we stated here that we really defer to the
Okay.
wisdom of the Congress.
Yeah, so check but defer. Defer regarding term?
Yes po.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yes, that's right. I see it. It's at the end. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So you have no objection to the really dismal record?
Regarding that, ma'am,
You are after all, NEDA. You have the macro vision of all these things, and it doesn't look very good macro-wise.
Yes, ma'am. While we recognize the need to extend the term of NHA, we recommend a conduct of a independent review of NHA's operations and performance to identify the factors.
Who would conduct the independent review? You don't consider the COA independent? Kung sa bagay, they're not naman engineering.
Pwede
So,
naman
who
po,
would be the independent review? Who would you recommend? Sa gobyerno or external auditor talaga yan?
Siguro COA, ma'am, pwede naman po.
Who kaya? Who will conduct this? So, not necessarily government or non-government?
I think ang point lang namin dito, ma'am, is it should be an independent review. So it could be COA.
As a department, agency namin yun eh. So kami mag-a-assess sa mga agency namin as a department under one agency. Together
Pero
with
maliwanag
DCC.
yung position ninyo na kailangan ipagpatuloy, hindi na siya independent kagad.
Oh, kasi kailangan
Kasi
namin siya.
pro-extension tayo. So, in that case, it's hardly independent. We've already manifested our position very clearly. I don't know. Anong tingin ninyo? No, kasi for example, yung simple lang, why have we failed so miserably and so consistently, decade after decade, president after president, admin after admin?
Ma'am, ngayon lang kasi 3 years pa lang, ma'am, yung Department of Human Settlement and Urban Development.
Yung NHA, matagal na
Yung
magsisikwenta
NHA
na
pa
yan
lang, yung
next
NHA.
year.
Kaya pag in-under natin sa department yan, yun ang magsusupervise as the policy making.
Which confuses me na rin. Since nandyan na yung DSUD, di-abolish na yung NHA. I-absorb na lang ng DSUD ang functions.
Di, ma'am, implementing arm yan eh. Kasi ang DSUD, ma'am, ano lang eh, parang
Policy.
policy lang eh. Regulation. So, yun,
Policy and regulation.
so yung SAPSI saka yung NHA, yun ang implementing arms. Under the
Pero
OCC.
kung policy lang po kayo, hindi kayo pwedeng mag-conduct ng independent review. Policy lang eh. Oversight.
Oversight.
Parang oversight.
Ah.
Pero, yun nga. Pero sang-ayon ako dun sa NEDA na parang malabo yata. DSUD. Anyway, let's consider that. I think there's wisdom in conducting an independent review. Where are the foul-ups occurring? Why is the delay so rampant? Why are contracts violated left and right? And why is everyone unhappy with the house that they finally end up with? So, I think that's what we have to work on. Sige, salamat Neda. That's a good suggestion. And even if you don't answer it right now, I think we have to keep it in view. Department of Finance, yes, Yusek-Tan. The former Secretary of Finance did not want to extend the NHA because of its historical operational performance. the low utilization of its operating budget, resulting in year-on-year reductions, right? It's less than half from 2022 now, right? And the efficiency that has not changed over several administrations. Kasi it's just gone down. From Duterte administration, we were at 5+ billion. It's now down to 2-point-something billion because of lack of performance. Isn't that correct?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Yes, so Yusek Tan. You say that the new secretary, Secretary Recto, is more open-minded and does not automatically think NHA should be abolished.
Yes, Madam Chair, because, well, it may be really necessary for the implementation of the government's program, no? So that's one of the major consideration. But otherwise, we have concerns, though, on the performance of NHA. And
Baka
hopefully...
naman kailangan paltan na lang yung pangalan. Hindi, sinasabi ko lang yan dahil kasi nafu-frustrate na ako sa NFA. Baka pag NFA o NHA, may malas doon. Hindi ko alam. Ipi-pray over ko po.
Okay.
Yusek Tan.
So that's one of the things, no. So we were very much worried about your utilization, very low utilization, because we're putting in money there and yet it's not moving.
Yes, and year on year, the evidence is very, very clear. It's
Right.
getting less and less instead of more and more.
Yeah. Yes, Madam Chair. And on the other concern we have, I think we shared the issue of who was it on imposing on what's this SSS and GSIS to invest. It all depends because they have their own mandates and rules on investment. So this could actually, in imposing on them, that could actually violate their own rules, So
Yeah, I'd like to disentangle that because there are several amendments that are involved in that. So yung una, the proposed bills indicate that NHA will have the power to undertake financing. Secretary will consult you, and this is hindi ba patong-patong na yan? Kasi meron naman social housing finance, yung binanggit ninyo kanina, tapos may national home mortgage pa. Bakit sila magre-raise pa ng pera sa GOCC tulad nga ni sinabi ni Yusek? Di ba redundant? Meron na kayong fundraising arm Bakit magpa-fundraising rin yung NHA? Kasi sabi ninyo kanina, dalawa yung inyong yung implementing arm para mag-raise funds yung social housing finance, tapos meron pang national home mortgage. That's for finance. Tapos yung building will be the NHA. Bakit yung NHA papasok din sa pagpa-fundraising?
Ang new idea of housing now, ma'am. Di ba ang housing dati all depend on government funds? Yung poor of the poor. Kaya may problema ang NHA Kasi iba-iba kasi nagiging politika ang NHA kung minsan. Hindi talaga nagagawa as a corporate entity, Pagka poor is the poor, kailangan tignan mo yung kahirapan ng tao. Pag NHA humaharap lang dyan. Si SAPSI din humaharap dyan. Meron kasi tayo economic housing. Meron tayo socialized housing, economic housing, medium housing, and open housing. Yung economic housing take cares about NHA pumapasok din sa economic housing and socialized housing. Si SAPSI naman, socialized housing. So, ginagawa ni SAPSI, mahanap ng paraan para mabigay yung poorest of the poor, pati NHA. Kaya pag pinagsama-sama mo yung negosyo sa NHA, nahihirapan ng NHA. Kaya ang performance sa NHA nag-iiba kasi may socialized housing siya.
Pero kasasabi lang ninyo na Social Housing Finance Corporation ang tumutukoy sa economic and socialized housing. Bakit dadagdagan pa ng NHA yan? Doble-doble na sila dyan.
Minsan, yung organization ng SAPSI sa NHA, yung NHA kulang sa organization, sa kakayanan ko minsan. Kaya bumuo ng another agency to take care about poorest of the poor.
Bakit ang sinasabi ninyo iba yung di ba NHA poorest of the poor din, economic and socialized housing din? Tama? Di ba sila yung nag-undertake
Pareho
ng
sila,
economic and socialized
almost,
housing?
almost.
O di pareho rin ng social housing finance. Bakit bibigyan pa sila ng authority to raise funds from GFIs and GOCCs samantalang ginagawa na ng socialized housing? Di ba paulit-ulit na lang yan?
Paano ba yun?
Pati yung national home mortgage, ganun din.
Finance naman yun.
Pero sabihin na
Sagot mo
natin na para sa medium or working class finance yan. Hindi siya poorest of the poor. Pero pareho naman yung clientele. Parang yung customer, pareho naman yung NHA at saka yung social housing. Bakit bibigyan pa yung NHA ng fundraising capability?
Sige. Go ahead.
Madam Secretary. Madam Chair. Madam Chair, in relation po dun sa financing, we have the NHMFC who is in charge not really of housing production but only secondary mortgage market.
Yes, we're aware of that.
Yes po. Yes po. So the NHMFC created its subsidiary, ito pong SHFC, which initially was in charge of just the community mortgage program. So it was the beneficiaries, although primarily informal settler families, they had to take out loans on a community approach. Hindi siya on account per account. Hindi siya per person account.
You're saying social housing corporation involves community mortgages?
Community mortgage program.
Okay.
It was when it was created, it was initially to
So
to
are you
implement.
saying iba pa ang customer nila kaysa sa NFA? NHA?
May konting overlap doon.
Kaya nga magkapareho naman sila.
But by and large, the NHA is a bigger organization that deals with the bigger umbrella
So
of
the
housing
position of
projects.
this SUD is that in fact NHA needs to be given the power to find their own financing?
That position, ma'am, is coming from the fact na otherwise kasi pag nakatali ka lang doon sa GAA, you'll be limited doon sa whatever is GAA has appropriated. The NHA kasi, ma'am, is also engaged in if it's disaster housing, if it's right of way. So medyo mas malawak po yung sa kanya.
Kaya itong Shopsy, nakatutok lang doon sa squatters, informal settlers.
Okay. Squatter. Yung NHA,
Yes,
Overall.
mas malawak, and in fact it has corporate powers, Madam Chair, wherein it can actually leverage some of its properties.
I'm sorry, but social housing by definition is a corporation. So it has corporate powers. So
Yes,
there's no
corporate-
advantage. You just said that NHA has corporate powers. So does social housing.
Yes, ma'am, magkaiba lang.
Pangalan nga niya, corporation.
mas
eh.
malawak.
Nakapokus lang, ma'am. Ibig sabihin, nakapokus lang.
Doon lang sa community mortgage.
Yes, community mortgage approach, community approach.
Mas malawak ang sakop ng NHA.
Mas malawak.
Okay.
It involves yung mga
Okay.
Kasi yun, ma'am, marami.
Hindi, kasi palagay ko, bago akong chairman, pero katulad ng NEDA, katulad ng DOF, katulad ng DBM, naguguluhan ako kasi nanganak na to eh. Palagay ko, kinakailangan i-streamline at ma-right size itong buong kaguluhan na to. Pagkat napakarami, sanga-sanga na eh. And I don't think it needs to be so broad, given that the budgets we're talking about are so meager and becoming smaller as we go along. Yan ang ang problema dyan eh. Palit ng budget, pero padami ng ahensya. Ba't ganun? Anyway, siguro we need to look at that. And you also mentioned that there's a full devolution of the functions to the LGU. May ganun sa DOF, position paper, at least from the previous secretary, yung namana ko.
Yeah. Yes, Madam Chair.
Meron bang ganun? Is that really correct? Full devolution of the function? Wala nang papel yung NHA? Hindi ba pag partner ang NHA, kayo rin ang hinihinga ng pera, kayo rin ang pupuntahan? Bakit may full devolution sa EO 138? Tama ba yan?
Yeah.
Nang binanggit ng DOF, yan ba yung sa Mandanas ruling? Yan ang naaalala ko na prinotesta ng lahat ng LGU na dininvolve agriculture, health, housing, etc. So that it was suspended and its implementation was held in abeyance. Tama ba? Or tinuloy? Ano na ba ang status ng mahiwagang EO na yan?
Uh,
Di ba prinotesta yan ng bongga? Naalala ko yan eh.
Yes, Madam Chair. So, currently po, may findings naman na po and we are currently reviewing the policy on devolution po. Kaya mas maganda pong mahintay rin po muna natin yon para ma-clarify nga po yung magiging
Pero
role po ng
maliwanag
LGU.
mula kay Yusek Tay na talagang iniiyakan pa sila ng LGU eh. Talagang imposible na naging kwan yan, na naging implemented and enforced yan. Kasi alam ko eh, pag umiikot ako yung mga LGU, parating sinasabi na yung pera namin sa NHA, wala pa rin, ganun-ganon. Parati naman ganun yung daing eh. Pinagmamalaki nila yung mga lupa na binili nila, tapos wala nakatayo. So obviously, wala nangyari, no?
That's why, ma'am, we are currently reviewing
Yeah.
po.
When will that come out?
We will be drafting po a new EO po for the devolution.
Uy, ang tagal na niyan. 2021 to, nasa 2024 na tayo. When is the new?
Kakalabas lang po kasi, Madam Chair, nung study po on devolution last April, I think. So, ngayon po, i-review.
Ako, nakailang devolution na sa Pilipinas, wala pa rin.
Thank you po.
2021 to 2024, tagal nyo Sige, okay. May concern rin, still to do with the financing capacity of the NHA. May sinabi yung DOF na kinatatakutan ko rin na issuance of bonds and automatic guarantees by SSS and GSIS to absorb all undertakings. Ha? Yes, Yusek, please. Kayo na magkontrabida.
I think we raised some concern because, as I've said earlier, this could go against the rules and regulations of both GSIS and SSS. Their main mandate is to really invest in, how should I say, quality investments and or assets.
Yes, very, very conservative portfolio.
Oo. So because that's the money of the people that they're going to invest, that they're going to use. So there's more parang fiscal prudence needed by them to
Yes.
yeah.
Yes,
So-
Yusek Tan, and I think more importantly, that would be a clear violation of a whole series of Supreme Court rulings that SSS money and GSIS does not belong to the government but to the members, and that therefore compelling them to absorb any losses from undertakings by the NHA would increase the government's contingent liabilities as well as waste all the members' ownership. Paano ba yun? So, I have grave concerns about this. I don't think anyone will agree to this. Paano ba yan, NHA? Can we strike this out? This is a real problem. Yung automatic guarantee by the government.
Madam Chair,
and then automatic guarantee pa ng SSS, GSIS. Kakanervyos yata.
Madam Chair, this was not included in our updated version na po.
Wala na yan.
Wala na po.
Ay, okay. So, yung problema na lang natin, yung proposed tax exemptions to be extended to developers and suppliers.
We're right now reviewing it, ano. I think it's based on the preliminary
Pero where does it end, Yusek Tan?
yeah.
Ang haba ng downstream ng housing.
Up to what point do we actually allow tax exemption? We're actually waiting for the position paper from our FM fiscal management group, no.
I see.
So we will be submitting that. Madam
Siguro hanggang LGU lang tayo niyan.
Oo. But if we can keep it within the national government,
Yun na nga. But LGU din.
But there are actually provisions under the current law that allows for some, like say, yung for as long as it's actually in parang directly with the with the NHA.
Kasi ang stand namin dyan, the moment nagliligay kayo ng taxes, tinatamaan beneficiaries.
Yes.
Kaya doon kami sa tax exempt.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, we are actually looking into it, and we will be submitting our position
Okay.
to ano.
The new position, is that correct?
Yes,
Okay,
Madam Chair.
thanks. All right. But I share many of your concerns, if truth be told. So it's a problem. And apart from the sentimental attachment to the housing agencies that my family has, the reality of their underperformance is glaring. Okay, so now we have GCG. Yep, is that Attorney Abisado, please? Or Attorney Pabalina?
Kami pong
Who's
dalawa.
representing GCG? Kayo po? Yes, I think you're in support. Is that correct?
First and foremost, good morning, Madam Chair. Yes, we are in support of the extension of the term of the National Housing Authority. As to the period, Madam Chair, we leave it actually to the discretion of Congress. As you pointed out correctly a while ago, Madam Chair, regardless, the GCG is mandated by law to review the performance of NHA and other GOCCs under its jurisdiction.
Okay, and you also manifest that you're already undertaking a performance evaluation system. That's akin to the provision in any case, di ba?
Yeah.
Meron naman kayo sa GCG niyan eh.
That is
I've seen some of those reports and some of them are quite scathing and resulted in the abolition of several agencies, correct?
Yes, ako na.
That is correct, Madam Chair.
To add, Madam Chair, Attorney Abisado, still from GCG. So, based on the discussion a while ago, although we support the extension of the corporate life of NHA, we want to highlight as well that the NHA has consistently exhibited poor performance on its performance evaluation scorecard. So, just to support din po the earlier point of COA that NHA should monitor the end-to-end process, because even if the budget is already downloaded to the LGU, the accomplishment of the LGU is also part of the accomplishments of NHA when it comes to the number of housing projects that
And
were
accountability
created.
for public funds.
Yes, and accountability for public funds. We also want to highlight also our recommendation to improve, same with the DOF, the collection efficiency of NHA. When it
Yes,
comes...
we haven't mentioned that. That's correct. In
Yes.
addition to the end-to-end construction
Yes,
and turnkey.
collection efficiency, because for those
Tama.
the NHA has two projects. One types of project. One, those that does not have a collection aspect. The other one is with the one that has a collection proponent. So we refer to that project. And also we would like to highlight that NHA should improve its IT system, because that's actually the reason why one of the reason of their poor performance, because until now they're still using the dot matrix. And
They're still using what?
dot matrix.
Totoo ba yan?
Yes.
Meron pa bang ganon?
Yes po. So actually during our performance evaluation, we evaluate piles and piles, cartons, boxes of documents. So hopefully with the help of the DICT, NHA can improve. Also, we also support, Madam Chair, your earlier...
What's the present collection rate? Mabalikan lang, sorry.
I have a data here of the collection efficiency rate of NHA, Madam Chair, from 2018 to 2022.
What's the average collection rate year on year? I think I
it's,
have it somewhere. I can't find it. I have it here also.
For NHA's...
Yes, I think it's been, the average collection is 42%.
Yes po, less than 50% po, Madam
Yeah,
Chair.
it's less than half of total in the past 6 years. Is that the same data you're receiving?
Yes po, Madam Chair.
Okay.
Also,
So
we...
it's 42% niwala sa kalahati, no? Okay.
Yes po. Also, Madam Chair, we also support your earlier proposition when it comes to the right sizing of the whole K-shelter agencies under the DSUD. They actually have a mandate under Section 22 of RA 11201, wherein the DSUD is mandated to evaluate and restructure the K-shelter agencies to determine whether there are overlaps or duplication in functions and mandate. So we also support that. And lastly,
Ay, Attorney Abisado, do you have a more expanded position paper? Yung sinasabi mo is much longer and more comprehensive than what you submitted. Pwedeng dagdag kayo?
I think we
Andyan
did.
ba lahat?
I think we did, Madam Chair.
Or bago yan? I'm sorry, because there's been a changeover of this committee. Parang mas maikli lang yung
Nasa
nakita
annex
ko.
po yata. But we will still we will provide it po. Actually, yung iba din po is through the course of the discussion right now.
Okay.
Yung na-point out ka po.
Okay.
And then lastly po, Madam Chair, ito yung process. Okay. Wait lang. I have to ay, yun po. Yung kanina po, we're okay po na natanggal na din po yung proposed participation of SSS and GSIS in the financing because, of course, SSS and GSIS is also, are also GOCCs under,
Under you.
under
Right.
GCG, and the fundings of SSS and GSIS are from the public, so it should not be subjected to, uncollected
Yeah.
projects.
Well,
of NHA.
aside from inordinate risk, there's
Yes.
a real problem with the ownership of the funds. We
Yes.
really can't mess with funds. that
And
don't
we
belong
are
to
tracking
government.
the life of the fund.
Yep, that's correct. Ang daming umaasa dyan.
Yes
Thank
po.
you. Is
Thank
that
you very
all
much.
from GCG? Those are very useful suggestions. Thank you.
Thank
Is
you
there
po.
anything else you'd like to add?
None
Ganyan.
for now. But we still support the extension of the corporate life of
Pareho tayo.
NHA
Ang daming sinabi. Yung pala, support pa rin.
because we still
Wala choice eh.
we still recognize the NHA's mandate and its role in the government to provide the housing program, affordable housing for every Filipino.
Salamat,
Thank you.
GCG. I think there's one last group that actually sent me a position paper, Urban Poor Action Committee. Andito ba? UPAC. Type ko yung pangalan nila. HOA Resettlement Alliance. Awan. Wala sila. These were in the previous hearings. They manifested their strong objection to any extension at all of NHA's existence. Okay, so I think I don't want to belabor the point, but I think I have to go through some numbers very quickly. NHA, according to the COA, did not achieve its vision of providing housing needs to 50% of the homeless by 2019. Again, it is not on track to attain its target by the end of 2025 to address 23% of the housing needs. What were the issues encountered? Perhaps we can help the NHA, and this is an opportunity to reorganize not only NHA, but the Secretary is here, the entire housing sector, and streamline it and right-size it exactly as DBM and the finance managers would like. What were the issues, to your mind? What was the biggest roadblock to achieving this plan? Well, two plans. Una, nagtakda ng 2019. Ikalawa, yung 2025 na mukhang malabong-malabo rin. What's the problem ba talaga? Bakit hindi na isa sa tupad?
Madam Chair,
Unang-una, nagkakaproblema palagay ko sa target setting. Tatama ba yung housing gap na 6 million? It's contested by many, many sectors. Baka we're setting ourselves up for failure dun sa 6 million.
Madam Chair, Honorable Senator, the 6 million housing need is coming from a PSRTI study commissioned by the
PS?
Philippine Statistics Research Training Institute. It's an attached agency of NEDA. It's an attached agency of NEDA, and we commissioned them, and I understand that they're running an update for that.
Okay.
Because nagbago na po yung census na
Baka lumala.
basis. We're waiting for the final numbers, pero po Madam,
Basta the working number continues to be 6 million.
to this day po, kasi
Okay.
po we haven't had the
Okay.
new the new housing needs study hasn't been published yet.
Alright, so To your mind, Secretary, as well as you, Secretary, and the managers of NHA, what's the reason that maybe it's target setting? Are we setting the targets too high such that they're impossible?
Madam Chair, on the part of the National Housing Authority, we're targeting 1.5 million, which we think are the poorest of the poor.
With the target of 1.5 million, how many can you do, for example, till 2025? Till your present charter expires? Kasi dati, you're supposed to address 23%. Is that 23% of 6 million or 23% of 1.5 million?
Madam Chair, due to budget constraint, there's only a very few of the housing units are
So how
being-
many have been built? I mean, of the 23%, I need numbers lang, please. Yeah. Of the 23% kasi that you named, that you identified as a target by the end of 2025, ilan yun? Ilan ba yung 23% na yun? Kayo nagtakda nun target ninyo yun
That was the target of the previous administration the last 5 years. But Madam-
2025? Why would the last administration target 2025? Hanggang 2022 lang sila Hindi, bagong target to.
This is the target from 2020 to 2025, Madam Chair.
Okay, 2020, sabihin na natin, 2025, okay.
Yes. Just to give you some numbers, Madam Chair, for this year, we are planned to accomplish 15,000 housing units based on our corporate
15?
budget. Yes, Madam Chair.
15,000 only for 2023? At 2024?
Yes, Madam Chair, based on our corporate operating budget.
But that's very far away from the 1.5 million that you say are your target.
Yes, Madam Chair. The target was given during the last 2020, and given the lack of budget, that's only the actual target is much lower.
But your budget under the new administration is less than half of what you got previously.
Yes, Madam Chair,
So,
2 billion.
are we to
please.
expect that therefore it will be fewer and fewer houses? Siyempre,
Yes, Madam Chair. But we're also partnering with the
mas konti pa
private.
sa kalahati Dati 5++ Ngayon nasa 2-1.
Yes, Madam Chair. But we're also using the 4PH model wherein we're partnering with the private sector, Madam Chair.
So, tell me, what's the issue? Anong problema sa implementation? One is the targets na hanggang ngayon di ko maintindihan, sorry. At what's the issue? Bakit hindi nakakapagtayo? Bakit 15,000 lang? Sabi mo, kulang sa budget. Okay, admittedly, lumiit pa lalo in the last 2 years. Ang tanong, kung nagpa-partner na kayo sa LGU, nagpa-partner na sa private sector at developer, bakit nagkukulang pa rin?
Tamam.
Yes, Secretary po.
Itong housing program po natin, magkaiba to sa previous administration. Yung gumagawa tayo, kasi nga, yung housing natin dependent on the government
Okay,
funds.
pero yung mga napapatayo, ganun pa rin kakonti.
Di, ngayon lang-
15,000 lang
Ma'am,
sa isang taon?
Ma'am, ngayon lang ang programa na ito. Hindi ito ginagamit in 2 years time.
Yung 2022,
Wala tayo.
Wala.
Wala.
2023, wala rin.
Wala rin.
So, ibig sabihin, ang sinasabi natin, 2022 and 2023, zero? Wala?
Almost dependent sa government
Sa
funds.
government.
Government funds. Pag
Ngayon, 2024 na, marami ng partner, marami ng sosyo, bakit 15,000 lang?
ito yun, ma'am. Nung nilaunch namin yung 4PH program, private money ginagamit namin. So, kailangan namin ng developers, contractors, minarket namin yan sa mga LGU. Pagka titingnan nyo, ma'am, ang performance namin ang pagtayo kasi ng buildings, ma'am, take about 2 to 3 years. So, kasi medium rise na tayo hindi na tayo horizontal housing. So, pero ang planning namin, in 2 years, nakaka-generate kami in 2 to 3
Wala
years.
kayong horizontal housing, miski sa probinsya, kung saan na maraming lupa, mura naman, kaya ng LGU,
4-story na kami, ma'am.
miski sa rural.
Oo. Pinipilit ko mag-force
Pero-
kasi maubos yung lupa eh.
Pero marami rin nagre-reklamo sa
Oh, nag-uusap po kami ng LGU na pag-aaralan po namin yung 4-story. Kasi ma'am, pag pinayagan namin yung horizontal, ubus na natin. In 10 to 15 years, wala na kami tatayo ng bahay.
Dami-dami pang lupa sa Mindanao.
Pagka pinayagan natin ma'am yung horizontal na.
So, you're saying that the solution is 4PH, which partners with the others. You're saying that the solution is not horizontal housing, but 4-story housing, medium rise, tama?
Yep.
So, yun ang solusyon sa ngayon. Okay. Okay, we'll have to see. Pero 15,000 is not a huge number, di ba? Are we expecting in 2020, kailan to dadami? Ang layo-layo nito sa 1.5, 6 million, 15,000 lang. Kailan maaasahan ng ating mamamayan ang maayos na pamamahay?
Our problem, Madam Chair, because based on the last 3 years, our budget is really dwindling. Hopefully, when the charter is passed, we would have a better budget.
Parang wala namang connection yung charter sa budget.
Ito ma'am, ito
Ibang bunuan yun eh.
yung program ma'am, yung program kailan puntahan natin. Yung old, yung
So how much have you raised in the 4PH? You said you marketed it to the LGUs and the private sector. Doon sa pera ng NHA ngayon versus, 'di ba, yung pera ng NHA ngayon 2.68 billion, 'di ba? Sakto 'yan sa GAA ngayon sa 2024. Sa 2.68 billion ng GAA release for 2024 of NHA, magkano ang na-raise ninyo sa LGU, magkano sa private sector?
Wala pa yan.
Kailan pa ma-raise yan? 3 taon na to.
Nag-start na po ngayon.
Akala ko nag-start na yung 4PH with minarket na ninyo, sabi nyo, sa LGU at saka sa private sector.
Yeah.
Magkano na-raise
Ma'am,
natin?
ganito ma'am eh. Ganito yung 4PH program. Yung traditional program ng gobyerno ma'am, binago namin lahat yun.
Yes, naiintindihan ko. I appreciate the initiative and the innovation. Ang tanong ko, dun sa 2.68, how much have we leveraged it up to? Dun sa dinagdag ng LGU, dagdag ng private sector. Can we quantify the amounts, yung lupa na binili nila? Kasi gumastos na rin sila sa lupa, iba pa eh.
Ma'am, wala pa. Hindi pa, nag-uumpisa pa lang itong program eh.
Nakikita ko pag nasa probinsya, bumili ng lupa, yung LGU, di ba may halaga yun. Eh di bale yun ang investment nila kasi hindi na binili ng NHA. Di ba mabibilang yan?
Hindi kasama sa bilang unless kung maging program.
Paano natin malalaman kung ilan ang bahay na mapapatayo kapag hindi natin alam kung magkano yung pera natin, magmula man sa GIA, magmula man sa LGU, magmula man sa private
Pag
investment.
LGU ma'am yung lupa.
Kaya nga, pero yung lupa may halaga din, di ba?
Ma'am, i-enroll na sa DSUD yung lupa para maging housing project siya.
Ang nais natin kasi para talagang maipasa to yung extension, i-justify naman natin yung pagbabago na talagang may maaasahan ang taong bayan. May numero, may saktong kwenta.
Meron.
Wala eh, sabi ninyo wala pa.
Hindi, yung nakaraan ma'am, hindi pa. Pero
Huwag na yung nakaraan. Nasa 2024 na po tayo, 15,000 pa rin ang naipapangako ni Yusek Tay. Eh, 2.68 billion po, mas maliit yan kaysa dati. So, wala tayong maaasahan, kundi mas maliit na output sa lahat ng mga taon na
We're not talking about ma'am, only NHA. We're talking about Department Housing. Ma'am, ang dito sa program namin, ang NHA can produce 30,000 units using 4PH program. National budget.
But that's the national budget. I can compute that easily kasi maliwanag yung pera. di ba? 2.68 billion divided by, o yun, simple yun. Pero sabi ninyo, nagkaroon kayo ng leverage
Ito
na
mga for page
market.
namin. Ito, 77,000.
Alin po yung 77,000?
Yung NHA production should be.
Ha?
Yung prepare namin.
Kasasabi lang niya ng 15,000, saan yung 77,000 ang galing? Sorry, ang kulit ko. Pero alam niyo, pagtatanggol ko tong batas na to, ayokong pumasok dyan na wala akong numero. Itatanong sa akin, susumbat talaga yung mga yan na bakit di papahaba pa yung buhay na yan? Eh wala namang maaasahan, puro paasa.
Hindi, ma'am, totoo. Mangyayari po, ma'am, to. Kamukha tong NHA, this year, 77,000 siya. Next year. And subsidy, 505,000 units.
Can I have that in writing po?
And
Kasi
total of 1 million.
masasabi lang ng NHA, 15,000 lang sila eh. Bakit naging 77?
Madam Chair, if I may clarify lang po. The 15,000 is only the housing units based on the GAA,
Tama.
which are the poorest of the poor. If we include our projects po with 4PH and other private developers, it's the 77,000 units.
This is already with the
With the other
Private.
private partners and other
LGUs.
LGUs and the private partnership po. But
Okay, can I have this in writing?
Yes, Madam
Can
Chair,
I have
we
the
will send.
breakdown?
Yeah, yeah.
We'll
At
send
i-identify kung saan. Kasi kailangan ko to, kasi pagtatanggol mo yung batas, tapos itatanong ng minority to, eh wala namang masagot. Kailangan may numero, hindi ko naman pwede sabihin, kasi yung 4H, ganyan-ganyan, yung 4PH, lalawak yan. Eh, bakit? Magkano ba ininvest ng mga private sector? Ilang bang ektarya ang binili ng LGU na sa magkanong halaga? Siyempre, tatanong, di ba? So, if you can help me, please,
Yeah.
because right now I have absolutely no numbers.
We will give, ma'am.
Okay, thanks. And then, according to the COA, out of the target units, again, eto na naman, you have only delivered 58.90%. Delivered and sold. Your sale and delivery is 58.90%. So, NHA has never achieved its disposition target. And then, the houses deteriorate over time as they are not disposed. Siyempre, nabubulok yun, nasisira, nakatiwangwang. So, ano yung masasabi niyong issue? Bakit nagkaganon?
This has been, Madam Chair, this has been a problem which we have fixed already with the DILGU between the sending.
Bakit hindi nabebenta, hindi na
This is
didispose?
the
Kala ko laki-laki ng housing gap, ang daming nangangailangan ng bahay. Bakit hindi nabebenta? Bakit hindi na
This has been a problem with the sending and receiving LGU, wherein there was.
Bakit kasalanan ng LGU? Di ba? Hindi ko maintindihan. Di ba kayo nagpatayo? Bago kayo magpatayo, mag-a-assess muna kung may kakayahan magbayad, ano yung level, socialized, economic. Ganun ba yun? Paano nga ba?
Yes, Madam Chair. There was a previous circular which was repealed already just last the DILG, wherein there's a certain amount needed to be paid by the sending LGU to the receiving LGU.
Hindi ko
For
maintindihan.
resettlement.
Anong papel ng LGU? We're still talking about the NHA units from 2015 to 2022. Wala namang LGU pa nun.
I mean, ma'am, hindi po makalipat yung mga families na ililipat po from the sending to the receiving.
So, ang sinasabi ninyo, ang inaasahan ninyong gumastos para sa lipatan ay yung LGU kasi walang budget ang NHA para sa lipatan. Ano ba yun?
We have po.
O meron
But
pala eh.
the LGU,
bakit naging LGU?
the LGU is not receiving it po.
Bakit?
Because they're basing it on the MC of the DALG, wherein they will be getting a certain budget in their LGU for those people.
Yun, ma'am, yung sinasabi namin na yung receiving LGU nangihingi na so much amount.
Naniningil.
Kada magta-transfer ang NHA ng ISF, So nakakaproblema doon. Ang dami silang issue doon about that. Kaya
Hindi,
kung
pero
minsan
sabi may
natitiwangwang
circular- hindi ba ma-solve yan? Kausapin
We
yan
have
ng
already
LGU.
solved this, Madam,
Kasi
just
sabi mo
this
may
year.
circular yung DILG,
Yes.
kaya yung
Secret-
LGU, syempre, umaasa dun sa circular, ayaw talaga tumanggap.
Secretary Abalos have already revoked the circular, Madam Chair.
Oh, it's been revoked na.
Recently.
So, ang ibig sabihin ngayon, wala nang aasahan yung LGU, basta tanggapin na nila, period. Ganun
Yes,
ba yun?
Madam Chair. So it's medyo smooth sailing na po, Madam Chair, ang paglilipat namin.
It's been revoked.
It's been revoked recently, Madam Chair.
Oh, okay. So, you're saying this 58.90%, which is not a very good showing, will improve kasi na-revoke na yun. Automatic ba yan? Hindi ba aasa pa rin ng LGU na bibigyan sila ng budget? Circular or no circular? Kasi may gastos talaga involved.
Tama po, Madam Chair.
So yung LGU, kahit wala ng circular ng DILG, sigurado ka bang kikilos yun na hindi binibigyan ng panggastos? Dagdag trabaho yan.
But we have better negotiations na po with the LGU since the circular have been revoked, Madam Chair.
Baka mawala na yung off-site resettlement.
Ayun na nga, yung pangako ninyo na
Yung
babasa
in-city na kami. Mag-i-in-city na kami.
Okay, so, well, I guess you choose your LGUs also. Kasi kung tutuusin, yung mga resettlement areas, malalaking probinsya sa Karatig, Maynila, may pera naman yung mga yan at gustong-gusto naman nila na matapos na yung problema nila sa informal settlers. Yun. Hindi ko alam. Sige, so what else are the other plans para maibsan itong problema ng, any other plans para makapagbenta at i-dispose ng mabilisan?
The other problems po, Madam Chair, we're turning over to the governor because there were some poor planning before wherein mas marami yung housing units doon sa isang city where hindi naman kadamihan yung tao. So we're turning it over to the governor so malagyan po ng tao kahit sa karatig na city or bayan po.
Siyempre, sila nakakilala nun. Kaya nga, isa pang finding ng COA na NHA is lenient and haphazard in evaluating applicants. Kung sino-sino daw tinatanggap, walang eligibility criteria na maayos at walang katibayan and incomplete documents, application forms, incomplete data, sige lang, binigay lang. Baka naman yun ang sinasabi ni Secretary na politika. Baka yung mga hindi karapat-dapat binibigyan ng housing.
Ma'am?
Bakit nagkakaganon? Kasi very lenient daw ang NHA. Yun ang nasa COA report eh.
Pero mo, ma'am, yung logic, ang pananaw namin dyan, lahat yan housing needs. Lahat yung nag-aagawan dyan at lahat yung priority. Yung hindi priority, kasama sa housing needs eh. Kaya yung pag-solve namin yung problem sa housing, wala nang pinipili. Lahat pwede. Kasi magiging problema yung mga ganyan selection eh.
What are you saying? Pero kailangan sagutin natin yung sa COA. Hindi pwede yung bale todo eh. Kulang na nga yung bibigyan. Mali pa.
Madam Chair, the list of beneficiaries given by our partner LGUs, we are validating this po. So we are strictly validating and ensuring na hindi na po nakakakuha ng units yung mga previous beneficiaries. Hindi po nagdodoble. We have our alpha list po wherein those who are awarded before
Tama.
are not awarded again.
Oo. But aside from the repeat awards, yung sobrang lenient na hindi man lang kinumpleto yung application form, walang katibayan na nagtatrabaho, yung ganun.
Yes, Madam Chair. But there are many steps po from the barangay to the LGU. We are the last validation po for the list of beneficiaries.
Okay, I guess I have to go through this. Meron rin sa COA na only 10% of your projects were completed on time, whereas all 90% have had contract variations, change order, delay, rejection, etc. Yun rin ang binanggit kanina ng GCG, nagkakaproblema kayo dito. Bakit ganun? I know this refers to previews, previous administrations, long past contracts. Pero sa assessment ninyo sa NHA sa DSUD, bakit hindi nakokompleto on time and with acceptable quality?
Madam Chair, this problem stems from poor planning. So, and also sometimes yung site po hindi po talaga kagandahan and hindi na rin po tinutuloy. So the very most important thing is the location. Kasi if hindi po talaga acceptable sa mga tao, yung contractor din po binabagalan din po and wala rin pong demand for the housing units.
So what happened na to all these contract time extensions, work suspension order, work resumption order? Ang dami pa rin mga kontrata sa NHA na nakatenga, yun ang pagkaalam ko. Or nasa ayos na. Ano na yung current status nila?
We are continuously terminating this. Mga contracts po.
Ilan pang natitira dyan?
Marami-rami pa po, but we're continuously calling off the...
Can we have an update? Do you have any idea at present?
We will send the committee.
Ilan ang dinatnan ninyo at magkano yung value nun? At ilan na ngayon?
Marami po, Madam Chair, but on the top of my head,
kasi nga 90% of contracts end up with incompletion, delay, change order, variation.
Madam Chair, our pending projects po that are unfunded is around 36 billion.
Ganito, yung projects ninyo, naguguluhan kasi ako dito Parang may 70,000 plus or minus na units na lahat may contract violations or problems or delays. Hanggang ngayon, ganun pa ba? May numbers, please?
Kinulang ng budget yan
One of the delay din, Madam Chair, is our budget is multi-year. There were some projects who were initiated without the total budget that allocated. Parang, kasi before po, if it's 10 billion a year, they expect po na every year may 10 billion po. Since naging 2 billion na po, so nabawasan na po yung project. So we have to terminate and suspend some of these projects while these projects are ongoing.
But naging 2 billion last year lang, di ba? 2023. Before that, 5 billion. Bakit before that, problema pa rin ang delay and substandard turnovers? Hindi, nabawasan lang kayo 2 years ago
Our 2 billion started 2021. Madam Chair.
Hindi. 2022, 5.18. 2021, 4.56. Yung 2 billion mo, nag-start lang ng 2023.
If I may clarify, Madam Chair, that 5 billion plus from 2021, 2 billion of those are not for housing production. Only 2 billion is for housing production. The others are for...
2 billion was for... What was the other 2 billion for?
For emergency housing assistance and other programs.
Yes, that's another magulo kasi ang alam ko kasi nung previous administration ang emergency housing nasa DSWD. Tapos until lately naguguluhan kami sa sarili kong probinsya kung saan sisingil ng emergency housing kasi wala na sa DSWD, wala pa nalilipat sa NHA. Ano ba nangyari dyan?
Our emergency housing assistance program, Madam Chair, is ongoing. This year lang po hindi nabigyan ng pondo, but from 2021 to 2023 we were given funds for this, Madam Chair.
Di ba yung mga Typhoon Odette kabibigay lang? Samantalang yung Odette was 2022, nabigay lang this year, di ba?
Yes. But these are ongoing na sa dami po hindi po natatapos, so ongoing po ang bigayan. We will submit the actual data, Madam Chair.
Ito. So, kailangan alamin lahat di ba?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay. So, eto nga, NHA, sa DBM, tama ba ito, Attorney Tricia? Ito bang analysis ko? Tama. Mula sa 2018 to 2021, NHA was one of the top recipients of government subsidy under the Duterte administration. 318.51 billion total subsidy for the period of 2018, 19, 20, 21. Is that correct? Of which only 21% was actually used, 67.37 billion. Tama ba?
Ma'am, we will have to double check po.
Yeah, but that's what I derived from all the GAA that I have. And is there any explanation for this extremely low utilization rate? Malaki po to, 2018 to 2021, ang total talaga 318 billion. Yun ang pagkaalam ko, baka mali naman yung pagkasabi ko dito. Napakababa ng utilization rate, out of which 21%, only 67.37 billion was used. Mas, ibig sabihin, kahit lakihan mo yung budget, hindi pa rin nakaka-perform yung NHA. Kaya tinutumbok natin, ano yung problema para ma-solve? Kasi pagkakataon na ito, babaguhin yung batas, hahabaan yung buhay, abay, gamitin na natin yung oportunidad para i-solve na yung problema.
Madam Chair, the data we have here from 2018 to 2021, our GAA is less than 10 billion, Madam Chair.
Baka this is mali. Bakit, but it's in the COA report eh. Maybe COA has a different computation. Mali ba itong pagka-quote? Is there an additional zero here? Kasi ang citation ng COA is 21% only was utilized.
Ay, Madam Chair, I still have to check po muna sa report.
Sige, hanapin na
Pero
lang natin
anyway po, yung mga report naman, mga data that were presented in our report is based on the submission of NHA.
Pare-pareho
naman
lang
po.
tayo. We derive lang from
Yes, po.
their own self-assessments.
Yes.
Ano? So, another question, what are the roles, the relationship, the linkage between NHA and DSUD under the 4PH? Paano yung sistema? Kung may hihingi, halimbawa, sinong kakatukan ng LGU or ng community or ng individual homeowner? Saan
Madam
hihingi?
Chair, the NHA is one of the developers in the production arm of the DSUD po,
Yeah,
with
sinabi
regards
nga ni
with the
Secretary.
4PH program.
So, masasabi natin yung 4PH, but that is a department program, di ba? Oo, Secretary. So, paano yung sistema na yun? Anong papel ng NHA? Siya ang tagapagpatayo ng bahay.
Yeah, ang ganito yung first launch namin ng 4PH, ginawa namin private sectors and contractors. So, lumatag kami, ma'am, in 2 years' time. Ang nagawa lang po namin, almost 100,000 units. Ang lumatag sa program. So, pumunta ako sa presidente. Sabi ko sa ating Pangulo, Sir, gusto mong mapabilis natin yung housing program natin. Instead of developers ang mangutang, contractors ang mangutang, pwede natin pautangin na ang NHA sa SAPSI. Pag NHA and SAPSI ang mangutang, kontrata lang ang pag-uusapan. Ma'am, pag-contract, mas makakatipid tayo. Kasi pag sa developers ako dumaan, may developers profit. O, so ipapatong mo yung developers profit doon sa beneficiaries. So, ang ginawa po namin, instead of developers ang gagamitin ko, ang ginawa kong developers, NHA sa SAPSI. So, direct contract na lang. So,
Sa gobyerno, ang tawag namin dyan, by administration.
by administration.
So, parang ganun, by
By-
admin. And then the contractor is NHA.
NHA.
In effect.
In effect.
Pero,
Mas
ano ang
makakatipid tayo.
papel nung sabi ninyo kanina, yung pera, mag-i-invest ang ating mga private contractors. Paano sila mag-i-invest? Hindi sila contractor.
May profit eh. Tsaka yung project eh. Di ba, developer, parang developers kayo, bibili mo yung lupa, tapos bebenta.
Kung maintindihan, saan kikita yung developer kung yung NHA ang kontratista?
Hindi, yung contractor na, papakontrata rin ng NHA yan.
I see.
Oo. Si NHA din, mapapakontract din yan. Kasi walang construction expert ang NHA, hindi kakayanin.
Kaya nga, so kailangan kumuha ng housing
Contractors.
contractor.
Yes.
Pag kumuha ng housing contractor, may kikitain din
Opo,
naman
opo.
siya.
Hindi ka mukha ng developers. Developers kukuha ng contractor, may kita rin contractor.
So
Papasa pa.
contractor, not developer.
Not developers.
Okay. I see. So sino nagla-land development kung housing contractor?
Contractors.
Sila na rin.
Sila
Yung
lahat.
kalsada, tubig,
Lahat sila.
etc. Lahat yun.
Ang trabaho lang po ng
So anong papel ng DSUD? Kung
Yun.
NHA ang mga...
kami po ma'am ang nag-aayos ng interest subsidy. Sa amin po ibibigay ng gobyerno yung interest subsidy.
Ano po yun?
Yung interest subsidy, ganito po ma'am problema ng housing. Nung pinuntahan po namin yung housing, ang problema ng housing, pag government funds ang ginamit mo, walang matatapos tayong bahay. Maliit na maliit lang. So, ang anong gagamitin mo? Pag ginamit mo yung private funds, 17 trillion na sa labas ng private fund.
What's interest subsidy po? Private or government?
Government. GAA yun. Instead of 6% ang
Akala ko sabi ninyo, bakit bumalik tayo sa government? Akala ko private funding ang gagamitin para makarami.
Private funds. Pero may subsidy ang gobyerno dapat dun sa squatters. Doon sa mga beneficiaries.
Teka, anong kinalaman ng subsidy sa ating informal sector?
Sa take-out amortization. So pag tinake out mo, instead of 6% ang babayaran ng beneficiaries, 1% na lang. Sinubsidize ng government yung 5%. Pag ginawa mo yung traditional man, kamukha na yan, yung nagbigay ng 30 billion ang budget last year. Ang magagawa lang ng 30,000 units. Pag dinigay ko ang 30 billion sa interest subsidy, ang magagawa ko dyan, almost 800,000 units. Kasi hihiramin ko yung pera sa private sector. So yung mahihirap, makakabayad na.
So for example, ngayon, magkano ba ang budget ng DSUD this year?
2 billion.
2 billion, di ba?
Pero binigyan tayo ng magkano?
1 billion, almost 1 billion for housing interest support.
Interest. And
7 billion unprogrammed.
7 billion program just in case magkaroon na kami ng finished product
Ngayon,
to support the subsidy.
so yung interest subsidy sa 2 billion, magiging magkano? Hindi ako masyadong marunong sa finance.
Almost
Turuan din nyo kami.
Almost 100,000 units.
Hindi. How does that work? Yung 2 billion
2 billion, ma'am.
is your budget sa GAA.
Ah.
Okay. And then, how will you use it for the interest subsidy? Paano?
Pag nag-take out na po kami at ang pag-ibig at ang beneficiaries ite-take out na ng bangko, yung difference ng subsidy ng interest, kami na po magbabayad ng 5%. Yung 1% sa beneficiaries na po mapupunta yan. Para may take out ako.
I see. Okay. So, the 2 billion is pambayad ng take-out.
Take out, dagdag.
Okay. I see. What's the 1 billion additional na nakuha ninyo? Sabi nyo 2 billion plus 1 billion
Hindi,
plus
yung 1
7
billion, yun ang kalatag ngayon kasi po, yun lang po yung
2
natap.
billion ang nasa GAA.
Yes, ma'am.
Yun ang nakita ko.
Yes,
Magkano yung,
One-
bakit meron may 1B ka
1
pa?
billion is normal operations for policy making, regulatory, for
The 1B
for
additional?
PS, yes. The additional 1B,
For operation.
750M is for housing interest support and another 250
Ano yun?
for credit. Housing interest, subsidy po. And 250M for credit enhancements. So the South,
Para saan yun?
for the,
Where was
Operation.
it given kung wala sa GAA?
nasa GA, ma'am.
Nasa GAA
Of the
rin
2
yung
billion,
1B.
of the 2 billion, 1 billion is for our normal
It's
operation.
still within the 2B.
Yes,
Akala ko
yes.
additional. I got the wrong impression. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay, yung additional lang, kung sakali meron, yung 7B, alachamba yun sa...
Unprogrammed.
Sa unprogrammed.
Opo.
Okay. Alright, I got it. Okay, so Pag-ibig Fund, as of last year, December last year, Pag-ibig approved 12 billion revolving credit for NHA to finance homes in QC, Valenzuela, Zamboanga, San Juan as part of the 4PH. What's the breakdown for this? And how will this operation, how will this work?
We will...
Parang utang ninyo, inutang ninyo sa Pag-ibig to, in effect.
Yes, Madam Chair. With Pag-ibig and other GFIs like Land Bank, Madam Chair. Then we will build this housing units, and later on it will be taken out by Pag-ibig with those qualified beneficiaries.
Okay, so what's
Under 4PH program.
under
eh.
4PH? What's the timeline for this?
Currently, we're waiting for the funds from the Pag-ibig and Land Bank. But Land Bank has some reservations because of our pending charter.
Ayun na nga, I was going to say. Yeah, it's very, very, it has a very conservative portfolio. So I'm wondering why you have land bank. But anyway, ang Pag-ibig, why are they taking long?
It's ongoing, Madam.
But the announcement was made in December. We're now close to July. You've lost half a year. Bakit ang tagal? Kasi na-approve na yan ng December. Tagal-tagal na.
The project is ongoing, Madam Chair. It's being tested yung
No, wait. Nagsimula na kayo magpatayo? Wala pa kayong pera eh.
No, we already made the initial studies sa foundation, Madam Chair. May ano lang doon sa foundation.
Anong foundation?
Nung building, Madam Chair, for the San Juan project and other projects.
Medium rise to medium rise.
Yes.
Mga high-rise po kasi yung mga 33-story, Madam Chair.
May 33 stories?
Yes, in San Juan and in Quezon City and other projects. These are 20 to 30 story, Madam Chair. So medyo matagal po yung pagplano doon sa foundation.
Yes, understood. But even planning requires some budget. Hindi pa kayo nakaka-download ng anumang budget.
Initially, the project, it's being by the contractor, Madam Chair. It's being shouldered already
Ala chamba.
by the contractor.
Okay. So, planning stage. So, in theory, when are you gonna finish?
In 3 years' time, Madam Chair, because these are 20 to 30 story buildings.
Okay. So, in 3 years' time means, kailan yun? Kasi, kalahating taon na, wala pa kayong nadadownload.
We target to turn this over by 2027.
Okay. So, no news from Pag-ibig when they're gonna give you money? Or the
No,
GFIs that you've
there is,
asked?
Madam Chair. It's ongoing. The process is ongoing and the construction is
Ko,
also.
Joben, yung ongoing is not a timeline. What is the timeline?
We will complete the construction by 2027, and by this year po we're gonna start the full blast na po ng construction.
Okay.
Ito ma'am, yung problema to pera.
Yes, Secretary.
Siguro in a month's time, lalabas na yung pera nito ma'am. Kasi ako chairman ng Pag-ibig eh.
Kaya nga nagtataka ako kasi kayo naman yung chairman ng lahat ng mga yan. Bakit hindi binibigyan ng pera nung isa? Di ba kanang kamay at kaliwa lang yan?
Medyo peppersign na natin ito ma'am.
Kaya nga. Okay, yung huli kong tanong, you mentioned you mentioned in your proposal to retain Section 13, Disaster Emergency Response. Maraming umaalma, mas mabilis pa raw nung panahon ng DSWD, lalong bumagal nung DSUD at NHA. Anong reaction ninyo? Dahil kasi noon under DSWD, wala pang 2 linggo, meron na silang partially damaged, totally damaged. Ngayon, yung Odette, halimbawa, 2.5 taon, wala pang natatanggap. Problem of funding na naman.
Oh, yeah.
Yung emergency, yung disaster emergency response housing, dati kasi DSWD yan, di ba? May 2 kategory. Mas malaki pa nun eh. 10,000 pesos sa partially damaged, 30,000 pesos pag totally damaged. Memorize ko po yun dahil governor ako nun. Lagi akong kumakatok para dyan. Nung nalipat, hindi nga namin maintindihan nung umpisa kung saan nahihingi niyan. Kasi nalipat yata from DSWD sa inyo. Ngayon, ang maraming tanong, bakit bumagal ng todo-todo nung naging NHA at DSUD?
If I may clarify, Madam Chair, the ESA program of DSWD was transferred to the IDSAP of the DSUD. The IHAP...
Ano yung IHAP? Sorry,
emergency
nahirapan
housing.
ako sa alphabet soup po ninyo.
Madam Senator, it's an emergency housing assistance program. Tapos ngayon po, naging siya integrated disaster shelter assistance program. Ngayon, ma'am, we have recently received that mandate from the disaster shelter assistance program, and then now we have we're in the process of capacitating our offices kasi
Ba't
it's
ganun komplikado? This was an ongoing program under DSWD. Ang bilis-bilis. Ngayon, ang binibigay ninyo is much, much less and the delay is 2.5 years. Why? I'm very, very perplexed. It's not like you inherited a brand new initiative.
Yes.
That we have to invent the mechanics and the procedure. There's no such thing. The DSWD was handling it very efficiently. In two weeks, sometimes less, the checks were out.
Yes, ma'am. We are coordinating with both DSWD for their
Coordinating
technical
is a bad word in
for their
government. You
technical
know that it
assistance, ma'am.
only implies delay
And-
and inefficiency.
where they're transferring it to us, and when they transferred it to us, now we're getting also capacity training from
Hindi.
international organizations.
Bakit yung 2 linggo nila o 1 linggo nila na mamigay ng cheque, bakit naging 2.5 years, hindi pa tapos? Yung audit, 2.5 years and counting.
Ma'am, the IDSAP is medyo recent for us. I'm not sure kung imabot sa amin yung audit, but I will.
Umabot sa inyo yung audit, namimigay kami si
No.
Yusek Tay.
That's under NHA po, madam. The EHAP program.
It's under NHA. Kaya nga, I'm wondering nga, bakit masyadong nade-delay samantala hindi naman bagong programa yan?
We will submit, ma'am, a report on the IDSAP.
No, you don't need to submit a report eh. I was governor, like I said eh. Kabisado ko yan eh. Lahat ng LGU, lahat kami, nahihirapan mag-download. Kaya nagtataka ako kasi dati naman ang bilis-bilis niyan. Si Secretary Tagiwalo, alala ko, pinakamabilis yun. Kidlat yung
Ma'am, saan po ba nadidelay?
Hindi, nakakatawa nga eh. Kasi
Mukhang
nga,
ang
yung
report sa akin
tao,
maganda.
yung mga tao na kapag para-paraan, nakapagpatayo na ng bagong lugar, wala pang dumarating. Minsan, namimigay tayo, maliit pa yung halaga, tigpa 5,000, samantalang dati 10 and 30. Ang bilis. May cheque kagad. Ngayon, ang tagal. Yung audit nga nakakatawa eh, pag pupunta ka sa Bisaya.
Ma'am, baka yung luma, yung bago sa amin na binigay.
Matagal na daw sa inyo, di ba
Di ma'am,
nasa...
bago na, yung bago na
Ma'am,
gagawa na.
iba po kasi yung program ng NHA, which is EHAP, then the DSUD, which is IDSAP. The EHAP program po of the NHA, yung mga typhoon audit, medyo na-delay po because of the unavailability of funds with regards to the EHAP. Pero yung DSWD...
Bakit nangyayari sa inyo yan? DSWD noon, hindi naman na natatagalan.
Because hindi po kagad na ibibigay sa amin yung funds for our EHAP.
Saan ba galing yun? Sa DBM?
Yes po.
Pero kung yung pera ay nasa inyo sa GAA, bakit matatagalan?
No, it's a fund from NDRMC po that is given to us.
Ha? It's from NDR.
DRMC.
Hindi, kasi ang pinagtatakahan ko, dati, diretso sa DSWD, DSWD just gives and gives, di ba? Tapos magpapatop up sila, di ba? Attorney Baraan, as the year passes and the typhoon season progresses, they just keep giving.
Madam
Diba?
Chair,
You top up and top up sometimes 3 or 4 times in 1 year.
Madam Chair, baka mas maganda ibalik natin sa DSWD kung mas mabilis sila.
Yun nga ang sinasabi ng napakaraming LGU. Bakit ang tagal? Tapos maliit na lang yung halaga. 5,000 na lang, samantalang dati, nasa 10 and 30.
Ma'am, nung una pinag-uusapan po na, sabi ko nga, balik ko sa DSWD na yan. Ang sabi ng DSWD, ikaw na lang, sa inyo na lang.
Madam Chair, if I may clarify.
Yes.
The program before of DSWD is different from the program of NHA. Magkaiba po yun. Ang nabago lang po, nung nawala po sa DSWD, it was transferred to DSUD for IDSAP. But ongoing pa rin po ang program of NHA with our housing assistance.
Bakit may dalawa pa? Bakit may DSUD, may NHA pa? Ba't nagkaganon?
Yung sa amin po
Ba't
galing pong
doble-doble?
NDRMC ang amin po.
NDRMC ang source niyo.
Yes.
Kaya hindi maliwanag ang pagdating.
Yes, minsan meron, minsan wala.
But I thought, so what happened to the funding that used to be in DSWD? Saan napunta? Sa DBM? Kasi wala na eh. Wala na yung item sa DSWD. Eh, dati nasa DSWD. Saan napunta ngayon? Di ba linipat daw sa DSUD?
Madam Chair,
Yeah.
we just recently received monies for the IDSA program just last year, and I understand this was
So
this
itong Integrated Disaster
this
Shelter,
is
di ba
a
sabi
new
mo,
it's a new program
bagong-bago
from
pa
us.
lang?
Yes. So yung
So
mga iba
ano
po baka tira.
nangyari dun sa DSWD? Nalilito ako.
Kasi ma'am, with the passing of RA 11201, yung disaster shelter, doon pumasok yung mandate ng department. Kaya ipinasa po ng DSWD because of the mandate created under RA 11201. Tapos nagkaroon ng NDRIMC resolution saying na okay, they should be the head of the shelter cluster. But in terms of the actual program, we just received monies for it starting this year.
This year, 2024?
Yes, for IDSA. So I understand that there might be some transitions from the DSWD tapos from previous disasters.
No,
tapos
but
iba, NHA also.
DSWD stopped giving since 2022.
Yeah, yung iba sa NHA muna before
Hindi
recent
nga
lang kami
yung source
nagkaroon.
nila, NDRRMC eh. Hindi natin pwede i-confuse eh. Yung source of funds iba eh, hindi sila magkaisa. Hindi pa rin maliwanag, baka DBM may mahagilap kang data dyan.
Madam Chair, per checking po sa JA, for 2024, under DSUD po yung Integrated Disaster Shelter Assistance Program.
Yes.
Sinasabi
this
nga
is-
ni Yusek Tolentino, nasa DSUD, pero 2024 lang.
Yes, and we
Pinagtatakahan ko ano nangyari sa DSWD budget para dyan mula 2022 hanggang sa 2024. Yun lang. Kasi yung pala, NHA wala rin kasi NDRRMC, kaya pala ala chamba yung pagdating ng pera. Okay?
Verify po namin, ma'am.
Sige, thank you. So, I think at this juncture it's very late. We'll be in violation of human rights to eat since I'm starving all of you of lunch. Ang hihingin ko na lang, siguro magtipon-tipon na tayo ng TWG. I think we're all resigned to the fact that NHA has to be extended to what amount of time, we are not certain. And also, tulungan po ninyo ako na i-justify yung extension given the very, very, very poor performance. Hirap talaga ako dyan. Tatayo ako niyan. Maraming magtatanong, paano ko ipagtatanggol niyan? Hindi ko maintindihan. Wala akong maayos na numero ni isa. Sana kung may maipakita natin, nung nagkaroon ng bagong pamahalaan, nung nagkaroon ng bagong pamumuno, nag-improve. But right now, I'm not seeing any light at the end of the tunnel. So if you could help me here. Okay, we want to extend it, but you have to give me cause. So yung mga submissions, please, that have been requested, please give them to me. And then, can you also appoint your representative in the TWG and our ComSec, Clea? We'll get in touch with them. We will obviously try to get this passed as soon as possible. But perhaps the Secretary has access to the Cabinet and we can get this certified urgent. Alam po ninyo, napakaikli ng panahon. Meron tayong, wala kaming session ngayon, kaya walang trabaho hanggang July 22 sa SONA. Pagdating ng SONA, kabisado ni Mark to, pagkat congressman siya dati. Pagdating sa SONA, yung tatalakayin lamang yung budget, ano? Tapos October, first week ng October, pipila na po kami, lahat ng kandidato pipila na. Baka wala ka na mahagilap na quorum niyan. Kaya kung maaari, i-certify po para matapos. Otherwise, aabutan tayo ng deadline nito. So maybe you can certify it para maisingit kahit budget season kasi bawal yon. At bago magsialisan yung mga tao sa Oktubre, may matapos na tayo. Pero, ang pinakamahalaga, mabilis lang to kung pwede kung kaya kong ipagtanggol. Sa ngayon, hindi. Kaya, please lang, tulong na lang. Thank you po to everyone. And then we have no more further hearings sa palagay ko kasi mana ko na nga to from the previous, so ayoko nang tanungin kayo, pare-pareho naman ang ating landing. At ang TWG na lang tayo, magte-technical working group for a clearer and better version of the bills already presented. Maraming salamat, and with that, we suspend the session, the hearing.